This is an Ellis Mowers and Mower small engine repair. Stay connected on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers and More. Comments or questions? Leave them below or email me, ellis@ellismowers.com. Parts used in today's repair are found using the links in the description below. And as always, like and subscribe for more small engine content. On today's repair, we're going to look at this Bolens push mower that I got traded in. He bought the exact same push mower that I had listed for $80. I gave him $50, or he gave me $50. I didn't pay for this, and took the other one with him. I got this on trade. I'm hoping that it's a very easy fix, but maybe a common fix, because I have seen, or a common issue, because I have seen this happen quite a bit to mowers like this, where the oil level looks good from what I can tell. It's super clean and seems fine. I'll double check it here in just a second. But whenever you go to pull it, it will not do a thing. Like, it's just locked. So you see that? Sometimes, I don't know if this thing's set up for a little bit of time, like over the winter or whatever, or if it was cutting earlier this year. But sometimes what happens is the gas smells good. The oil level, I'll double check one more time, but I checked before I did the video, and it was full and very clean, like clear clean. So I'm going to look real quick. So yeah, you can see the oil level is right on where it needs to be. So a lot of times, and we may be able to fix this very quickly here, maybe right here in the beginning. Sometimes what happens is these things just get like rust ridged or something and frozen in place. So what I'm going to do is turn it on its side here. I'm going to pull the spark plug wire very quickly, because I don't want to start it, or for it to start while I do this. But I'm going to grab my clip. I'll get y'all close here. I think we can get this thing freed up pretty quickly here, hopefully. I don't know the condition of the blade. I don't know if something is hit underneath. So we'll look together, I suppose. What I might do is just put, let's see, put something heavy on top of it. Maybe like box or something. And we'll look underneath here, and I'll get y'all down so that we can see this. So if we look underneath, there is the blade. It looks pretty good. There's a little bit of twine and stuff on it, but when you get it right there, it just stops. And I think I just freed it up. Now, one of the other things that I see here, well, it's got an E3 plug on it, and it doesn't look like it's the correct plug for what this mower needs. So, blade is nice and sharp though, so what it did is it just got locked in somehow. This E3 plug almost looks like a weed eater plug, so let's see about that. So we got it freed up. I figured that that's the only thing it was, is that sometimes they get ridged in there. It could be this plug here that was having issues. Let's see. Because that does not look like the correct plug on this thing. Figured I'd get it right into it, right? So yeah, so there's part of our issue. This is like a weed eater plug. on it. So I'm sure it wasn't running very good regardless. Let me find a good plug that'll fit into this thing. We'll put this plug in, and then we'll give it a see if it'll start for us. Alright, I'm back. I got a champion plug on it now. This one's a QC12YC. I'll put it in here. It should work just fine. The lead is in decent shape. Probably pulled it off of a mower with a blown engine or something. But see the difference? Let me see if I can find the old in the threads. So the guy, number one, E3 plugs. I'd rather use a torch plug over an E3 any day of the week. But look at the difference in the threads here. So that's for like a Bolens weed eater or something, not a Bolens push mower. So we'll get this thing in here. Honestly, I'll probably just get it fixed, start it up, and clean it. I may have one of them little shroud things to go on the rear. It's missing that right now. So I may look through my stash to see if I can find one of them. But if I don't, I mean, it's like a $50, $60 mower anyway, so I ain't really worried about it. Let's see, I want to get some of the string and stuff off of the... We'll get some of that string off a little bit later, but let's see if we fixed this mower in, how long has this video been going? Oh well, second take, so probably 5 minutes, right? Luckily the wheels are in decent shape, so I should only have to, if I can find that back baffle piece, we'll be even better. Got gas in it, so I'm curious if I just pump it a few times here, how well it'll run, if it runs at all. It doesn't run very well. Start back. Got plenty of gas in it, so what I'm going to do next is get this thing out, pull the carb on it, clean the carb. I'm going to see if I can find a baffle for it as well, or the little brush guard for the rear. And then it should just need a good cleaning after that. The blade's already sharp. The what is it? Air filter looks good, I believe. You already checked the air filter, I think. Yeah, air filter has been recently replaced. Just got the spark plug, and the oil is like clear as a bell. So let me get everything. I got the tools ready to rock and roll for the carb clean. So let me go ahead and take care of that next. Well, I found a little baffle or whatever to put on the back of this thing. It ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but it does the functions and looks the part that it needs to. Just a part, put a couple self-tappers in there. It's better than stuff shooting out on them whenever they're cutting grass. So it's better than no baffle at all, or no little guard back there. These carburetors are a piece of cake to take off and clean. So I'm going to pinch off the fuel line. We'll take this air filter off here. We're going to go ahead and get this thing finished today, so we ain't got to worry about it later. Because I need to show y'all a video too. 5/16. Take these off. And you can get a 9/32 or a 7mm to take these off. If you're curious about starting mower repair and things like that, these are awesome to start with. Push mowers, low risk. Generally can fix them very quickly as long as you have what you need. And I have, y'all know, back in my Walmart customer return days, I had these by the hundreds at one point. So I got parts forever for these Briggs overhead valve singles. You just take that fuel line off right there, take your linkage off, make sure that your washer and your plastic clip that go on the carburetor come off, and you're good to go. Now we've got gas coming out of the carb now, but that's pretty usual. This thing's just got a minor clog somewhere. So what we're going to do is take these two 7mm off. Take a screwdriver and kind of pry the bowl off. We'll see what's like inside. Doesn't look too bad from right there, but if we look in the jet, we can kind of see that it may be a little bit blocked. It's not too bad though. I don't really see any water in the bowl or anything. So I'm going to pull the jet up here. Hopefully we can. Sometimes these are a little tricky to get out. There we go. Just a couple clips. You can also split this jet even further if you want to. It's kind of your choice. Make sure everything's clear on it. Alright, so that's that. So we get a little carb spray, which I have right here. Already got gas on here. Looks like there was a little bit of water in it, so put some fresh gas in it as well. That's clean. Got nice gas shooting out of that. And then we'll spray this, see what happens. That's very clean as well. So we may just have had a little bit of a water in the fuel situation. So what I'm going to do, let's see, all those pieces right there are good. So don't really see anything like critical or anything like that that needs to be done immediately on the carbs. So we'll slide everything back in like it needs to be. Just gotta be careful because you know this is this plastic jet bushing here. And then we'll take it and let's see, it needs to go this way. So we'll push everything back in the way it needs to be, just like so. We'll put I'll clean this out a little bit. May let some gas out of here a little bit as well. Don't really see a lot of water. That jet looks pretty good overall, though, from what I can tell. One thing I may do, let me go grab a wire very quickly. I'm just going to take this wire and run it through the jet. Sometimes there gets a little bit of crud and corrosion around that brass portion of the jet. So I'm going to run that through there a couple of times. And then spray some carb spray in it. We'll see if that gets things running a little bit better. Spray it in a couple of the holes here. Like I said, I think we had a little bit of water in the gas as well, maybe just from where it was sitting. So we got that cleaned out. We're going to put it back on. And then we'll put these screws back in. There's always some sort of fluid on my floor anyway, so it's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you just spill all the gas out on the floor? Well, it's part of life around here. Alright, so I'm going to take, and how much gas is in this thing? I bet it just got a little bit of water in it whenever we put it, on, or he put it up. So let's see. Let's get the linkage here. Sometimes these carbs can be a little finicky too, especially on these 450 series and or like the little cheap 125 cc's. The 140s and the I can't think of it off my top of my head. 160s maybe are a little bit better. The auto chokes generally. So get my finger under here. We're going to put the pipe back on there, and then little breather pipe. That's what I was talking about. Put these 7 mils back on. 5/16. All right, a little bit of gas in it. I'll do that. We'll see if it runs any better. So it appears to be running better, but I think I've got to adjust the valves on it still, because it seems like it's still a little hard to pull. Like right there. So let it cool off for a minute. And I'm going to pull the valve cover off and see how the valves look, and we'll likely have to adjust them because it feels like one of them is a little bit out. All right, so I got the 3 valve cover gasket bolts off. They were 5/16. Now I've got to somehow pry this gasket off. There we go. There may be a little oil that leaks out, but I can tell you right off the bat, that one's too loose. But I need, what, probably a T15 or a T20, and 8mm or 5/16, it looks like. So let's grab those. So 5/16 or 3/8. 5/16, perfect. feeler gauge. We're going to take this, make sure that's up there, because I have the brake undone. Alright, so to the side over here. So that would be one of the valves there, so the exhaust or the intake, I can't see for sure. But we'll take a feeler gauge here on the bottom valve. Appears to be the intake valve on the bottom of this machine, just from looking at it. I want to get it to about 5 thousandths, right? So let's see how bad this one is. Is it in spec? Kind of feels a little loose, not terrible though. Ooh, that was wrong. I actually need a T10. It's an even smaller Torx than I thought. I haven't used one of these in a while. I don't really work on push mowers very much, so. Alright, so break this loose. Turn it in a little bit. We'll go a little bit more. Not too much. We'll check the 3 thousandths here. See if it's moving in there fairly decently for that. I think I'm going to back it off just a tad. Makes me wonder if the exhaust is way out, because this one's not terrible. Alright, so move on to the exhaust now. It doesn't feel too bad. Oh yeah, that was way out though. So let's undo this. Move this in. Yeah, we still got a light ways to go here. Now that's not terrible. We'll go one more round here. Let's see the 3,000. And we'll go back out just a little bit. I think we're just a little too far out right there, or too far in. Don't take much on these valves sometimes. Alright, so that's good. I'm gonna go in just the tiniest bit. I'd rather be just a little tight. Yeah, that's better. Alright. We'll check the bottom one more time, because I didn't never check that one after I fixed it. And I just want to be able to slide that, and then the 5 is a little bit rougher, so I'll take that on the valves. So now I just need to put the valve cover back on. Trying to beat the darkness so I can finish this video up for y'all. The darkness, the wind, and the cold today. So we got all 3 things chasing us. Take this, plug it in. Should start significantly easier now. And so Let me pull it out here. We'll see if it starts any easier, if I've got any resistance like I did before. I think that exhaust valve was a little bit too loose. Starts right up. It's still got a little bit of a tightness to it, though. But, in the famous words of pterodactyl, it's a lawnmower, not the space shuttle. So, running good. Seems like it's pulling easier. A little bit easier. Still got a little bit of a hesitation, though. That one's about going to be as good as it's going to be. So let me give this thing a wash, and we'll get this thing listed. Probably 70 bucks, $75, because you can't buy this one new for $250 now, which is crazy. They're like 300 bucks for a new basic push mower, which is insane. So I'll clean it up, show you what it looks like, and then hopefully we will be done here very soon. Just for good measure, let's try pulling this one more time.